Okay, so we're recording. I forgot what I was going to say. That happens sometimes. Right, we'll start again. It's Gino here from Real Everyday English. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got my friend and language partner, Javi, who's kindly agreed to come on the channel and have a quick chat with me about some of his experiences learning English and some of his motivations towards doing that. So Javi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I've had a busy day. Up at 5, straight to the gym, and then to work. How about you? What have you been doing today?
Yeah, I had a busy day today. This morning I was working, and this afternoon I was in class. I'm doing a course about solar energy, and I finished it today. So yeah, good.
All right, okay. So you passed. So you passed the class.
Yes, well, I hope so.
All right. So did you take an exam and now you need to find
Yes,
out?
exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
How long has it taken you to do the class on solar energy?
It was 2.5 months, from Monday to Thursday, and from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Ah, okay. So it's something that you've been doing in the evenings.
Yeah, well, afternoons for us.
Yeah, afternoons for you. It's only us English who go to bed really early.
Yeah.
Do you know something? It's coming up to 9 p.m. now, okay? It's 20:51. So that means it's 10 to 9, something like that. By 9:30, Gino will be in ZZ land. Ready for the day after. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that solar energy course. What has the content been like? Because I know that here in the UK, sometimes when you're driving around, you'll see houses, and they have on the top of them like panels, and the solar energy panels, which obviously absorb the solar energy, and then they produce electricity for the house. So has the course been about that, or has it been about something completely different? Or
Yeah, it was about that. It's focused mostly on self-consumption. Is that right?
consumption? Yes. Okay.
Self-consumption. So yeah, you put your own solar panels, and and you use your own energy, and also maybe for your communities, small communities of flats. So mostly about that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think that's the motivation behind installing solar energy panels on roofs here in the UK, because it reduces people's energy bills, I think. So
yes.
It brings
But
the bills right.
I don't know why you use solar panels in the UK. You have sun.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of sun. Today hasn't been bad, actually. It's been quite sunny, but yeah, in the winter I don't know if it works. Does it have to be direct sunlight, or can it just be daylight?
No. When the sun is shining, and it's just how do you say, perpendicular?
Perpendicular, yeah.
Perpendicular. It's the top of production.
Okay.
But if there is just light, even there are snows or anything, they still producing. Obviously, the less, but yeah, they still producing energy.
So they're still conserving the energy. It's really interesting. I find things like that really interest me. Technology, how technology is. You know, like, it amazes me when me and you have language exchanges. We use our mobile phones, and I can see your face in the mobile phone with no cables. And it's like you're actually sat in front of me. It still blows my mind. It's really strange.
Yeah, yes. And even, for example, if you are at home it's like, you have Wi-Fi or anything, but maybe you are in a mountain or in the countryside where there's nothing around you, and yeah, you can have your mobile phone and be talking directly to somebody.
It's crazy. It's such a big advantage that we have for learning languages in today's modern era. But
Yeah.
can you imagine if you had said to somebody in, say, in the past, in 1950, you said to someone, I've got an idea, and what you're going to have is I'm going to have a little tiny box, and I'm going to be able to see someone's face, and I'm going to be able to speak to them. They would have put you in a mental hospital because they would have thought you was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when the first mobile phones came. My grandmother said, yeah, she can't believe that you can be outside the house and be talking with somebody without any wire. Yeah, it was unbelievable for her.
Crazy, it's crazy, isn't it? Another thing that amazes me about things like that is like everything you see: mobile phones, cars, bicycles, glasses, laptops, baseball caps. Um, all of it started as an idea in someone's head.
Yes,
All of
exactly,
it,
exactly.
and it really interests me that that's the way things are. But yeah, technology is certainly on our sides. So Javi, you're from northern Spain, so tell us a little bit about where you live and the city you grew up in.
Okay, I live in Pamplona and I grow up here. I always live here.
Okay.
Well, here during the week and during the weekends, I always went to my village. It's typical in Spain. We live in a city or next to the city, and on the weekends we go to our grandparents for the weekend in villages or
Mm-hmm.
small villages. Hmm.
Yeah, when I was younger as well, I spent quite a bit of time at my grandmother's house. She used to take me out regularly. But Pamplona is where they do the famous bull run, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Have you ever
Yes.
done that?
No, 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 no. I'm not that crazy.
No, I tend to agree with you there, Javi. I mean, I don't want to mess with no bull.
Yeah, no, no, but not to do it.
No, bull versus man. There's only one winner. There's only one winner.
Yes,
I don't
yes, yes,
I,
yes.
I don't want to make a bull angry. In fact, I've seen some videos of that when it goes wrong, and the bulls are merciless. They get people on the floor,
Yeah,
don't they? And like with the
yes,
horns, really, really
yeah,
dangerous.
yeah. You have nothing to do.
No, I think as well. I think people. I think some people they actually get drunk, don't they? They get drunk and then try to chase.
Some people do, but it's supposed that police are controlling it. But yeah, there is always somebody who comes into the running and is drunk.
Yeah, definitely, very dangerous. So in terms of English, I mean, me and you, we practice. We have practiced Spanish and English for quite some time now. We don't speak too regularly, but we keep in touch. So
Hmm.
where did you first come into contact with English, and what was that like? I assume it was school, or
Yeah, exactly. I started learning English at school when I was a child. We had like 2 hours per week, and it was mostly grammar, vocabulary, and some verbs. But yeah, it wasn't very intense, and well, at least me, I haven't practiced it never,
Mhm.
ever. So a year ago, I decided to download HelloTalk, and I started practicing. And yeah, it was at the beginning it was really tough because because you can text and read, but most time I needed to translate. And when it came to talk, well, it was almost impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah. There was this Australian girl. She kind of forced me to have video calls. She was very, very, very patient. So thanks to her, yeah, I started to be more confident, and at this point is when I started to improve really, really fast.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? How fast you can kind of improve your level once you meet a patient language partner who's willing to teach you. For me, the turning point for me with my Spanish was when I started talking to a Colombian guy called Jaime. He taught me this method that he uses. So it's a bit like we do when we speak. Like when one day we'd only speak Spanish, and then the next time we'd only speak English.
Hmm.
And when you need to ask them to explain a word, they explain it in the language you're talking in. So say we're talking in Spanish and I don't understand something, then Jaime will explain it in Spanish until I understand. And once I started speaking like that with people, my level really started to increase, much similar to yours. Because at first, I don't know about you, I remember my first conversation. I'll ask you about yours in a minute, but I'd been learning on an application on my phone called Duolingo. So I'd been using Duolingo, and I was thinking to myself, yes, I know loads of Spanish now. I speak Spanish really good. And then what happened was I actually tried to speak with a girl from Madrid. I couldn't understand not one word. It was awful. I didn't know what to say, or I didn't know what she was saying. It was awful. But as you say, the more you do it, the better it gets. Can you remember your first conversation in English?
I don't remember exactly the first, but yeah, I remember exactly the same you say. And yeah, it's like somebody is talking to you in his or her native language, and you are like, yes, yes, and suddenly they shut up, waiting for a comment or reply, and and you didn't understand anything, and it's embarrassing. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But for me, the main point, or when somebody asked me, when I noticed, I it everything changed. It was when suddenly one day I stopped thinking in Spanish before saying it in English. And when somebody asks me how do you do it, there isn't an answer. It's just practicing, and suddenly you're talking well better or worse, but you are not thinking in your native language. You are just talking.
Yeah, you are exactly right in saying that, and I like the fact that you said that there is when people ask you how do you do it, there is no answer to that. I think it's just something that you become aware of, and then eventually you think one day, I think I'm actually thinking in my target language. But yeah, it's absolutely fundamental to being able to maintain conversations, because for example when you watch something in your native language on telly, like for me when I'm watching
Hmm.
something in English, I'm not constantly trying to translate it into anything. I just feel it. I just know what it means. I just feel it, and that's the same
Exactly.
thing. That's the same thing
Yeah,
when
and you don't need to understand every word, just the whole sentence or the context, and that's all. And also, I think video calls, or at least calls are very, very important because, for example, for me, when I listen to an audio message, you can listen it several times. You can take notes or even transcript it.
Yeah.
And when I send an audio message in English, I repeat it several times. I think before sending it, and that's not a proper conversation. So when you are forcing yourself to talk and you need to understand and you need to talk live, it's when you really improve.
Yes, you're exactly right there. I agree with you 100%, especially on the voice notes. I have people who come who message me sometimes on Hello Talk, and they just want to exchange voice notes, but it's not really my thing.
No,
Because
no.
if you're in a live conversation, it forces you to focus, really focus on what the person is saying. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to maintain the
Yeah,
conversation.
I mean, maybe it's a process you need. Maybe if you are a beginner, maybe it's a good starting point.
Mm.
But yeah, you need to practice live.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, do you do any? I know you like to have a lot of conversations, video calls. Do you do any other kind of studying? Do you do any reading? Do you do any listening? Do you watch telly or what?
Yeah, apart from my language partners, I watch everything in English. Well, everything I mean, series and films I watch in English with English subtitles,
Hmm.
and that's another point I want to talk about because sometimes when you talk with people about subtitles, they put subtitles in their native language. For me, in my experience, is much more useful to to watch and have the subtitles in the same language because you can uh, how do you say you can match the sound with the word, and for me it's very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. You're 100% right because you hear the word,
Yeah,
you see it written, and you also see the context. So
yes,
if for example someone is pointing at something and calling it, this that thing, or you know what it's called, then like you pick up more words than you think, don't you? Doing that. Yeah,
yeah.
I tend to agree. Some great tips. So moving on to the final parts, which accent is the easiest for you to understand, and which accent is the hardest for you to understand?
Well, the easiest I think is the American accent,
Okay.
and I think that's because almost everything I've watched is from America, so from the United States. So lately, I've been focusing on British accent, and I've been watching British series and British films. I watched Trainspotting. I watched Line of Duty, Luther, and yeah, a bunch of others. So yeah, I find British accent more difficult, and I know saying British, I'm not saying anything because there are many different accents in the UK. So yeah, I don't know exactly what accent, but suddenly I speak with somebody and it's really difficult. Well, actually, I want to tell you something. Yeah, I was watching an American TV show. I was able to understand it, even sometimes without subtitles. So I decided to try British accent, and I started with Peaky Blinders. But yeah, that's not English.
Difficult.
Yeah, it was really, really, really difficult, and yeah, I needed to stop. Yeah, I couldn't watch
Understand.
it in. Yeah, it was impossible.
Yeah, the Peaky Blinders is set in a city called Birmingham, which is it's in the
Hmm.
Midlands. It's in the centre of England. And my boss at work, our head office is in Birmingham. I work at the Bolton site, but he's from Birmingham, and his accent is thick. You know, it's pretty hard to understand. I mean, for me, it's easy, but you know, for non-native speakers of English, I can see
Hmm.
because it's the pronunciation. It just completely throws you off. I've spoken to people in Spanish sometimes, and if they have a certain dialect, a certain accent, it's a lot more difficult for me to
Yeah.
follow than the ones that I'm more accustomed to.
Hmm.
So thank you for coming on the channel and sharing your experiences. If you want, then in a couple of months or whatever, you can come back and we'll speak Spanish.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so it can be me in the hot seat that time.
Yes. I want to watch it.
Yeah, definitely. You know I don't mind recording myself speaking Spanish. I'm putting it on the channel because it helps people. It motivates people who might want to learn Spanish, just like you coming on the channel motivates people who want to learn English. You have a great level of English, and we'll continue to practice. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye, Gino.